Cool. Hello and welcome back to 13th episode of the Unplanned Journey podcast. Today we are embarking on a remarkable exploration of a career transition that defines convention. Our guest, who once navigated the intricate world of international relations, has boldly embarked on a new path into the realm of technology. From diplomatic negotiations to coding challenges, our guest's journey is a testament to the power of adaptability, courage, and the pursuit of newfound passions. So join us as we unravel this inspiring narrative celebrating the resilience and determination that have fueled this remarkable transformation. Get ready for another extraordinary episode of the Unplanned Journey. So, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the amazing Tegan Williams. Tegan lives in Edinburgh and works in the strategic alliances team at Kainos. She is a partner manager looking after Microsoft relationship with Kainos in the UK and Ireland. She began working in the world of tech in 2017, slightly by accident, after completing a degree in international relationships. So after getting hooked by the challenges and excitement of this ever-changing industry, she decided to stick around and is still here. Well done to you. In addition to her role as a partner manager, Tegan is passionate about representing women and the LGBTQ plus community and sits on the LGBTQ plus employee network in Kainos. So welcome to the show, Tegan, and I'm so glad you're here. In case if I missed anything to your introduction, do you want to add something to it?
I think you've covered most of it. Thank you very much for having me. I think there's lots of facets to what I do, both from a technical perspective and from an employee representation perspective. And I think you covered a lot of it off there, so thank you.
All right. So without any further ado, I will start directly with the questions and the main theme, which is the unplanned journey. So I'm sure you'll have, in the introduction, we saw that, you jumped into the tech industry by accident. So can you share a story of a significant unplanned event or a detour in your life that led you completely to this unexpected path?
Yes, for sure. So you sort of already mentioned that I did a degree in international relations, so a 4-year degree in Scotland. I graduated in 2016 and I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I think that's not an uncommon thing. A lot of people feel that way. So I took a year out. I did a bit of traveling. I went and worked as a ski instructor for a year in Austria. And then I moved back to the UK and I moved to Edinburgh. I had a lot of friends in Edinburgh. I went to uni in Scotland and I had no money and no job. So I was in a pretty tough situation. So I started applying for jobs, everything, anything that was there. And I actually was offered a job as PA at a advanced analytics company based in Edinburgh. I was maybe the least technical person I think this company had ever hired. A little bit of background about me. I attempted to do maths at A-level and was advised to take history instead because I was so bad at maths. It's really not a strong suit for me.
Well, the same, it goes for me too. So.
I mean, I know your background. You're quite technical. You're very, very sort of technically gifted. I am not. But I went and became a PA.
That's a myth.
So I went and became a PA for a bit, and I think I can put my hand on my heart and say I was maybe one of the worst PAs they've ever had. It wasn't something I was good at, but it gave me an opportunity to see what the company was all about, learn about an industry that I knew absolutely nothing about. And I was very lucky that they were very generous with their time and very patient with me. And from there, I moved into a role that I'm in today, and fast forward sort of 5 years, and now my role is in the BD community, in the sales community at Kainos, specifically in alliances looking after Microsoft. So a real sort of whirlwind to get here.
Well, I know you well now because we've been working together, and obviously the job that you do is amazing. So I'm sure this twist and turn that took in your life is for the good, and I'm sure you're happy about it. So just on the emotions, how did you initially reacted to this unplanned event of yours, and what were your emotions and thoughts at that time?
So I think initially I was really relieved to have a job because I was quite young and didn't have one, but that changed very quickly. I think something that was very true then and is still very true now is that sometimes I suffer from imposter syndrome and I really feel out of my depth when I'm in a technical room. And it took me a long time to realize that actually, as someone who's not necessarily very gifted when it comes to writing code, actually you can still bring a lot to the table, especially if you're working with maybe a customer or a partner where the main stakeholder is also non-technical. Sometimes there's a translation piece there that is done well by someone who's not technical, and it's nice to have a different perspective in the room. But I think despite feeling out of my depth, it was really exciting to be in this industry, and that's not changing at all, especially now. A lot of the conversations I'm having at the moment are around OpenAI and things like that. And so it's really nice to be doing stuff day to day that's genuinely really interesting and I'm really passionate about. That didn't happen overnight. That didn't happen straight away. I think initially I was really nervous, but excited. And I was lucky that I had a really, really good team who were very, very patient.
Yeah. Well, this brings to my another interesting question, because I think all this twists and turns, the unplanned events in life do comes with lots of obstacles and challenges. So did you face any challenges or obstacles along this unplanned journey of yours, and how did you navigate through them?
For sure. I think, everyone who's coming into a new job often has a knowledge gap. I am where I am now because of how many people spent time at a whiteboard drawing out for me how things work, and that's been invaluable. But I think it's really interesting for me. Not only one element of it is that I don't have a technical background, but the other element of it for me was that as a woman, a young-ish woman, maybe not so young anymore, but as a young woman, as a lesbian who was out, it's hard when you don't see role models. And I've never really had leaders in a company that I've worked at who are like me, who have relationships like I do, who necessarily have backgrounds like I do. And that's been really difficult for me. I think it's one of the reasons that I am so passionate about representation and about the employee network groups I've been part of over the last 5 years, is that it's not necessary that I feel like I'm this sort of role model, but it's more like I'm tough enough that I can be out at work and have those conversations. And if people, have something to say to me, I can take it. So I'm hoping that even if one person who's maybe new to Kainos or is new to the Microsoft ecosystem sees me being out, speaking about my relationships, speaking about who I am, it gives them the confidence to do that too.
Yeah.
Because it's just, work is somewhere you spend a lot of time. Your colleagues are people who you spend a lot of time with. And I think it's really important to be able to share with them who you are.
Yeah, absolutely.
At your essence.
No, I definitely agree. The more you present yourself outside, the more people will notice you, because I do feel if you don't ask for it, you won't get it. Right. So
for sure.
That's so important.
Yeah.
And did you find any hidden opportunities or unexpected benefits during this journey of yours? If you could share any example.
So many. I think it's an industry that genuinely, when I started working in this industry 5 years ago, 6 years ago now, I knew absolutely nothing about it. It was sort of something that I'd maybe read about in the news or by passing, but I didn't really know much about it. And there's a few different things that are really excite me. One of which is how passionate people are. It's people who are in this industry really, really care. I work with a lot of people who, outside of their day job are doing research, are taking exams, or are wanting to expand their knowledge because it's something that they feel passionate about. I mean, you'll know yourself at Microsoft, all the MVPs I work with are genuinely super, super passionate. For sure. And also I think, it's so my parents have no idea what I do. I've tried to explain to them. Even my girlfriend, who I live with, who works in the same room as me, because we both work from home, has no idea what I do. But things like OpenAI, things like some of the examples of the output of what we work on is really exciting to them as well. It's something that they see on their day-to-day lives. Kainos, for example, for people based in the UK, Kainos built the NHS app. So during COVID, if you booked a COVID test, you use that app.
Yeah.
And those kind of tangible outputs, those real world outputs that really affect real people, are so exciting and so interesting. And it's really easy to feel passionate about them. I think it wasn't something that I necessarily knew that was going to happen to me, that I was going to feel this way when I took that job as a PA in 2017. I didn't anticipate staying in this industry, but it's just really exciting. And I think that's I wouldn't want to miss anything.
Well done to, staying where you are and doing what you do. Usually people just give up, if they feel that things are not happening. So really well done. And I'm sure like the experiences that you had in this whole journey might have given some perspective might have changed some best perspective of you towards life. So how did this whole journey change that for you towards your personal growth and towards looking how life is?
Mm. So I became way more of a yes girl after over the last 6 years. I think naturally I'm quite a cautious person. I like to know all the options before I make a decision. But that's really changed. I've become a lot more of
Mm.
a go with your gut kind of person.
Yeah.
Not in every situation, but I like to say yes to things. I think I would much rather take an opportunity and think, oh, maybe that wasn't quite right for me, than think what could have happened if I had
Has
done it.
taken. Yeah.
And I think that's really spilled out into my personal life as well. That's, you had to ask me twice before I said yes to this podcast, but I was like, actually, maybe I should go and do it. We were chatting about it in Dublin just there. I think I get to meet a lot of different people. In the nature of my job is that I spend a lot of time in Dublin, a lot of time in London with Microsoft, and meet different people and different people from customers, and that's really really exciting for me.
Yeah.
And that's also sort of bled into my personal life a little bit. But I think the big one is saying yes to things and grabbing opportunities, even if I feel like I'm not qualified for them, even if I feel like maybe it's not right for me, just giving it a go.
I know. I can totally understand because came across people who fear of failure. They'll be like, if I do this, there might be people judging, there might be somebody saying things and all that. But to be very honest, when it's about you, you think about yourself first. What do you want to do? Not what people are going to think, because there will be
Mm-hmm.
somebody out there who's going to talk behind you, who's going to pull you, try to bring you down. But then there are
Yes,
so many
exactly.
amazing people out there who will appreciate this. So we
Mm-hmm.
want to look forward to that positive witty around us rather than, negative. Because I do feel sometimes you do need negativity at some point to realize that there is some positive things happening.
Mm-hmm. For
So,
sure. Yeah, for
but well
sure.
done, and thank you for saying yes to the Unplanned
Thanks for
Journey
asking twice
podcast.
after I said no the first time.
Well, I won't give up on you, you know that. So I'm really happy that you said yes to this and I'm able to do it. It's an honor and a privilege. So thank you again. Um, So the next question, which is around mentorship, support, allyship, we all know how important it is in our life. And to reach at a certain level, you do need somebody standing by you, right? So did you find any support guidance from others during this whole twist and turn of yours? And if you want to share any names and individual stories, if they motivated you in some any other way, feel free to do that.
Mm-hmm. So I knew this question was coming, and I sat down to write a list, and the list was long. I There's no way I could do this job or be in this industry without the support of my peers, of people who I've worked alongside, who have taken the time to explain things to me. Um, I've been really, really lucky that I've had a series of really good bosses. I the startup I first started working in back in 2017, all the way through to my current boss, have been very, very generous with their time, with their energy, supporting me, have been really patient with me and
Mm.
understanding how my brain works and how I like to be pushed. And I think I've been very lucky in that I've
Mm-hmm.
had bosses that have done that for me. Um, I think the note I wrote down for this question is that I've had a lot of good bosses and great mentors. So it's a real mix of people. I think the list got to genuinely about 15 people long before I could start doing it. I think the key thing for me is that sometimes a boss and a mentor is the same person, but quite often it's not.
Yeah.
Um, the bosses that I've had have been really good in helping shape the role that I do, pushing me into doing more things in a professional sense. And one of the one of the things that I've been working on over the last few years is feeling confident in technical conversations, and that's something that I've worked on a lot with my bosses, and it's been great. But I think sometimes mentors can work with you in an area that maybe
Yeah.
isn't, it would never find its way into a job description. And especially as, I spoke to you before about being a woman, being a young woman, those kind of conversations, I've had mentors who've really supported me in having open conversations about how I feel being a woman in this industry, being a gay woman in this industry, what that looks like, how do I feel about it? And sometimes it's having that conversation that allows me to actually understand how I feel about it. Because sometimes you just, you'll come out of a meeting, you think something didn't feel quite right there and I can't figure out what it is. And I think a mentor, especially in this industry, a mentor will help you with that perspective and has an insight from looking out into a conversation. And I remember very clearly speaking to a mentor that I had about wanting to be. This is so I joined Kainos 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, and I've been out at Kainos the whole time. But actually, that conversation about when you start working with a brand new customer and you don't know the customer, do you, if someone says to you, what did you do? We're recording this at lunchtime on a Monday. So every call I've jumped on today, I've said, what did you do over the weekend? How was your weekend? And you want to be honest about what you're doing. I spent time with my girlfriend. I spent time with my partner. And I think mentorship allows you to have those conversations. Whereas having a good boss allows you to progress professionally. And I think absolutely. That balance, having both of those influences is really important. And I've signed up to Kainos has a really amazing mentorship program where they pair up women in the company. So it's a mentorship program exclusively for women. And I'm involved in that program as both a mentor and a mentee. So I'm hoping I can pass on. Exactly. Yeah. I'm hoping I can pass on some of the wisdom that I have received from mentors, because I don't know how much of my own I've got, but I'm trying to pass them on.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree, because personally I feel as well that it's so important to have a role model. It's so important to be a role model as well for somebody. Having mentors, having support in life do take a huge positive impact towards the decision making, or, being in the career or personal life as well. So, well, you might see me saying this in so many of the previous episodes that one of my biggest mentor and inspiration is my mother. Even though she's not very technical, but I think I rely a lot on her about anything. She's kind of a backbone to me. And then I have so many mentors outside, male, female, all mixed up. And I wouldn't be here without all of them. So I think that's a very important aspect of life, to have mentor and support.
Sure. And I think we're all different, so you're never going to meet a boss or a mentor who is exactly like you. So being able to take facets from different people and have them inspire different parts of you and different parts of what you do is invaluable.
I know. No, thanks for sharing that. And thank you to all the mentors in your life who have supported you again to bring you where you are today. So this is my last question for this podcast. So for those listeners, and I think this is kind of an important one as well for the audience. So for those listeners who may be currently finding themselves in an unplanned journey, what advice would you give them to embrace the unknown and make the most out of their situation?
So it's really scary, and it doesn't ever really stop being scary. But embrace it, because it's really worth it. And I think it's really easy to say that with the benefit of hindsight, knowing that it all kind of worked out. I do a job that I love, and here I am. But it's, even if you don't end up in the position where you love something, you always learn something on the way. That's such a cheesy thing to say, but it is true that your experiences make you who you are, and your experiences, all the people you meet, the jobs you do, the interactions you have shape who you are, the way that you respond to things, and the knowledge that you have. So I think for me, the one piece of advice I would go back and give myself is that it's not, if you whatever this unplanned journey is, if it's a career move, if it's, training, if it's something big, moving to a new country, whatever it is, it doesn't need to be once I've done that, that's it. Everything is just a step onto what you're going to do next. There's no sort of end point. Everything is a stepping stone. So take what is valuable to you from experience. If it's the people you meet, if it's something that you learn, take what's valuable and leave what isn't. if something hasn't served you and supported you and helped you to grow, then leave it as you move on to the next step and take with you what has helped you. And from there, you'll eventually, hopefully, I'm still on that journey. I'm still taking things from the people that I meet and the experiences I have. And I do think that ultimately, hopefully, I'll look back and see things that I've picked up from all the different people and conversations I've had on the way and find that I've ended up somewhere really great.
Very well said. I think that's a brilliant advice people can get, because everybody, every single person, individual who comes in your life gives you a lessons. There is a life lesson that everybody brings in life, So I would say, like, embrace whoever is coming in your life rather than, saying, oh, why did I meet that person? Or why did I went in that situation? Because it's not in your hands. Sometimes destiny brings a lot of things towards you to make you realize that, what needs to be done and what not need to be done. So thank you again for giving such an amazing advice. And as we conclude this eye-opening episode on the unplanned journey of transitioning from international relations to tech, we are reminded of the incredible potential within each of us to navigate uncharted waters and forge new paths. So our guest story has illuminated the transformative power of embracing change, taking bold steps, and pursuing passions, even when they led us into unexpected territories. Throughout this episode, we have witnessed the beauty of adaptability, resilience, and the pursuit of personal fulfillment. Our guest journey exemplifies the notion that our careers can be as dynamic, as adaptable as we are, and what the unexpected often holds the most rewarding opportunities. So our heartfelt gratitude goes to our guest Tegan for sharing her inspiring journey with us. Her experience serves as a beacon of inspiration for all those who dare to explore new horizons. So thank you for joining us on the Unplanned Journey. Stay tuned for more captivating stories and empowering conversation. Until next time, may you continue to navigate life's twists and turns with courage and resilience. So if you enjoyed today's episode and want to stay connected with us, we invite you to hit that subscribe button or follow our podcast channel. We value your support and appreciate you being part of our podcast community. Together, we can continue to explore fascinating topics, share empowering stories, number of challenges we face, and ignite a spark of inspiration in each other's life. So thank you again for tuning in, and we look forward to having you with us on the next episode of The Unplanned Journey, Thriving Amidst the Unpredictable. Thank you so much, Tegan.
Thank you.